welcome to the November 31st, 2020, November 31st, 2020 Monday Night Raw review. And Alexa Bliss is the Fiend's weakness. So that's what we found out at the start of Raw. We start off the start of Raw. It was essentially the moment of bliss with Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. So Randy Orton was the guest, and there was a recap of last week where the Fiend cost Randy Orton the match, and essentially, Alexa Bliss was like, so why do you think the Fiend is after you? And he's like, I know Bray Wyatt, but I don't know the Fiend. I gotta figure out the Fiend, and I don't know his weakness. I burned down his house, this and that, whatever. But now I think I know his weakness. And he started to look at Alexa Bliss. And he essentially was like, so something happened where the lights started to doom, started to hear that doom, the lights go off and it goes doom. And he's like, you see? And then it goes off again. He's like, and she's like, you see? And then it goes completely dark. And as you're going to see in the thumbnail, and thumbnail made by my boy Jay, that she goes into his, the lights turn on, and she's in Randy Orton's arms. And the Fiend's begging for her back or some shit, and he gives her back, and then Randy Orton goes outside the ring, and he's laughing, and we all know who the fuck, and he's like, who here is laughing? Who's laughing? Who's laughing? And we all know Alexa Bliss's fiance is not fucking laughing. That's what we know. But that was essentially it. That was essentially the rest. That was it for the both of them. Then you had the first match, Elias versus Jeff Hardy, in a Symphony of Destruction match. Now, I had posted on Twitter today that I felt like I was going to rant on today's video of this review. And honestly, WWE needs to stop doing these kind of matches. It's kind of corny and shit. Symphony, the first one it was probably stupid. But the second one, I think, was probably better. There was some stupid elements. I mean, Elias had the wood of his guitar to jam it into Jeff Hardy. It hits, it misses, and it goes into this the amplifier, and he basically fucking electrocutes himself. I'm sorry. And someone pointed out, but wait, that's wood and shit. So why would that shit go off? Whatever. So he pretended that with that shit. There was a rubber tooth guitar pick and shit. It looks so obvious on TV. At least make it look less obvious on TV. But I think the ending was pretty good, actually. I mean, Jeff Hardy, I said, yo, this motherfucker, Jeff Hardy is crazy. He fucking proved why he showed us why he is why he's the daredevil that he is. And it's true. He put Elias on the table, and then he did the Swanton Bomb off the ring post, but his head hits the stairs, and Jeff Hardy ends up winning. I would have had Elias win because I guess Elias needs it more, but at the end of the day, I don't give a shit because this is their last match, so I'm glad that this is their last match, and hopefully that's it. And that's it. The feud didn't even make sense from the beginning. He wanted revenge on Jeff Hardy, even though Jeff Hardy didn't hit him with the fucking car, and it was almost obvious that it was Sheamus, but he still wanted Jeff Hardy. It didn't even make sense to begin with, but whatever. That was that. Jeff Hardy wins. Then you had New Day. Oh no. So you had Keith Lee's getting ready when Matt Riddle rolls up and he rambles about the match, and then Keith Lee leaves him. He leaves him rolling. Then you had some cyber Monday sale things with the New Day. Talking about Big E, what they should get Big E for Christmas. Retribution gets a promo and Mustafa Ali wonders why Ricochet didn't join him and shit. And so it was essentially Slapjack who's going to fight Ricochet. And you'll see what happens next. So, okay, so it's next as a matter of fact. Ricochet versus Slapjack. Now, during the match, towards the end, I didn't understand this. Dana Brooke got involved. And it's crazy because Mia Yim from Retribution, I don't even know what the fuck her Retribution name is. Retaliation Rebellion, I don't even fucking know. But she wasn't there. So Dana Brooke slapped Mustafa Ali. I didn't understand this shit. He was at ringside. And I didn't understand it. And then someone said that shit on Twitter. Then it actually happened. They talked about when Mia Yim beat up Dana Brooke backstage. And so she was trying to get revenge on Mia Yim by attacking Mustafa Ali, who Mia Yim wasn't even out there. So I didn't even get that shit, but that set up a match for later. So Slapjack beats fucking Ricochet. Ricochet's a joke, but remember, he got that fucking push when he was fighting Brock Lesnar for the title. Remember that, guys. He got a title match equals push. Then you had Tribute to the Troops promo package, whatever. It's that's obviously going to be good for the troops. Good to appreciate them. The Miz and John Morrison, they were doing the Miz TV and Sheamus, and they were essentially going on, and then something happened where Sheamus pissed off the Miz, and the Miz went fuck. Like, the Miz, when he delivers an angry promo, it's easily one of the. He's so fucking great on the mic, and he spits the truth too. When he's angry and he spits a promo, he be spitting the fucking truth. So essentially, he said, "Oh, when's the last time you got a fucking title shot? This and that. Drew McIntyre got a title shot, and now you're teaming with them. Blah blah blah." But, oh my god, he was spitting the truth on Sheamus, and it was so good. And Sheamus punched him, and him and Morrison started to beat him up. So then there was a promo with Asuka and Lana before the match. Who gave a shit? Like, who really gives a shit? This is your Raw Women's Division. And in a video that I posted earlier this week, not even earlier, it was probably like Wednesday, Thursday, the Raw Women's Division fucking needs Charlotte. I don't care what anyone says. It needs Charlotte. So, Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax versus Lana and Asuka rematch. And so I don't even know what the fuck happened. Like an accident happens where Shayna Baszler's laid out and Lana pins Shayna 1, 2, 3. So obviously now Lana's starting to get her luck, as you see, as I predicted, as when she first got her first W, whatever the fuck. She gets her first win. She's starting to roll now, and basically, I would have had Nia Jax take the W, Nia Jax take the pin, but obviously they loved Nia Jax so fucking much, and so much that they would bury the only other fucking one that is worthy of taking the title off of Asuka. But knowing them, it'll probably be Nia Jax. Anyway, so that was that. They scrammed out of the ring. No more Lana to the table. New Day, they make their no, actually, Sheamus is chilling on the back, and Drew McIntyre rolls backstage, and they're doing their shit. New Day makes their entrance, and then they cut a promo on her business. So this feud is still continuing. Then you had Cedric Alexander versus Xavier Woods. So essentially, is what happened is Cedric beat Xavier Woods, and now if this feud is still continuing, then the Hurt Business is going to take the titles, and that's good because of New Day are still. AJ Styles is backstage with his big guy, and Matt Riddle rolls up, and they're talking about their match. And so their match is AJ Styles versus Keith Lee versus Matt Riddle. Thankfully, no Braun Strowman. He did not show up, this and that. And so you had AJ Styles getting the W, so now we're getting AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre at TLC. Good news, no Braun Strowman. Thank you, bye-bye. So then you had Miz and Morrison, they're backstage, and they're talking about their shit. And then Dana Brooke, she makes her entrance, and so it's Dana Brooke versus Mia Yim, Reckoning. And Dana Brooke actually gets the W. Ali comes out like, there's no room for losers. Get the fuck out of here. Or not even get out of here. It's just like, there's no room for losers. And he was berating her. And it's funny because they're all fucking losers. So I don't even understand this one. So it looks like we're starting to see cracks there. Miz and Morrison are backstage to bribe AJ Styles, and AJ Styles like, yo, I'm willing to help you because it's easier to beat you than fucking Drew McIntyre. MVP is backstage on Matt Riddle, and they're talking about the L and shit. And so it looks like Bobby Lashley attacks Matt Riddle, and it looks like we're getting a Bobby Lashley Matt Riddle feud. Keith Lee has a short, tense chat with Sheamus, whether he's going to turn on Sheamus or not, this and that. So you got Drew McIntyre and Sheamus versus Miz and Morrison, and AJ Styles ended up getting the DQ, whatever, being up. Everyone tried to beat up Drew McIntyre, and the Miz was on the brink of cashing a Money in the Bank. He did not cash Money in the Bank in. I had a feeling there was going to be a failed cash in, but it didn't count. They didn't announce the match. And so Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, they won by DQ. And the big bodyguard saved AJ Styles from beating the shit out of Drew McIntyre, apparently, according to AJ. And so that's how the show went off the air. So no cash in, and looks like we're getting Sheamus and AJ Styles versus Drew McIntyre at TLC. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed what you saw in this video, please leave that thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys for the next video.